What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So a little while ago, we were hearing rumors about there being some sort of big trilogy coming back from EA for a big remaster, and it kind of disappeared. However, it looks like it is slowly coming back now, and we could be looking forward to, yes, that's right, the Mass Effect Trilogy coming out possibly soon. We're going to go over that one today. Also, xCloud. There's a big surprise. You could actually be playing it as soon as today. That's right. Microsoft made a big, surprising announcement. For anyone with Game Pass Ultimate, we'll go over that as well. And then, do you remember the old Def Jam games? Like the old ones, not like the newer one that was on the 360, but like Fight for New York. We might be getting another game in that series. Might. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit the red subscribe button down below as we head towards 500,000 subscribers. And we're going to start today with Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Of course, we know that the HD remake for 1 and 2 is coming out pretty soon. It's exciting stuff, right? I'm looking forward to it big time, and we know that there is a demo, the warehouse demo, for those that pre-ordered the game are going to have access to it later on this week, starting on Friday. But if you were not, I guess, able to pre-order it, you can apparently buy a burrito and get into the demo. That's right. At Chipotle, they have a specialty burrito for Tony Hawk, and the first 2,000 people who buy into it will then get a demo code. And they're also going to be doing a big stream on Friday with Chipotle and Tony Hawk giving away a bunch of the burritos. Now, the question is, of course, is it worth risking the burrito to get into the demo? That's up to you, I guess. Of course, it's the first 2,000, and who knows, by the time you're seeing this, they might all be gone, or maybe people just reevaluated that they were buying the burritos from Chipotle, and well, hey, everyone takes chances in life. Also, keep in mind, you just pre-ordered the game and then get in with the warehouse demo. I'm sure I'll have some impressions up if you even want to wait and hang out to see how the game's turned out so far, so keep an eye out for that. Also, do you remember how Microsoft was going to be doing updates like every month leading up to the Xbox Series X and seemingly now Series S release later on this holiday? Seems like they are backtracking a bit on that, and I think it probably has to do with the pandemic and COVID and all this, and doing a lot of remote work to try to get all this stuff done, especially every month, is fairly difficult, and they went ahead and updated us on the situation in their May release where they did some updates. They kind of went back and fixed some of it up, and this is what they said. Xbox has a massive year ahead of us, as outlined below. After reassessing our programming for the rest of the year, we've decided to stop using the Xbox 2020 phrasing, as it implied that we would be releasing information in one way only, through a dedicated monthly show. We've got so much more to share with news about Xbox Series X, new games like Halo Infinite, and cloud gaming via Xbox Game Pass. We're going to share that news in a variety of ways. It may sometimes be a dedicated show, YouTube videos, partnering with others, or sharing the latest via Xbox Wire. We want to stay flexible with how we connect with you. And again, that makes sense in current times now. A lot of remote work. I'm sure there's deadlines being missed behind the scenes because of some of the struggles with communication. It's much different right now for a lot of game companies, especially if you are a game company trying to release a console and then also communicate as much information as you can with this schedule that they themselves set up ahead of time. They probably should have never really even tried to announce it. They wanted to try something, branding, make it all, nice and pretty and all of that. But hey, at this point, we're hearing about games a month or two before they even come out, right? That's just the world we're in right now. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if Microsoft just went the route of, we're going to drop information at any time, just like kind of how PlayStation's been doing it now. Oh, and do you remember those Hori Split Pad Pro for the Switch? They came out and people liked them because it had the full analog stick from like the Pro controller on the Joy-Con. They were much larger for better grip, and it kind of was paired with Daemon X Machina. The problem was they were kind of hard to find at the time. The prices went sky high, and they seemed to just kind of be forgotten about, but they're back now. You can see this here. In fact, they are doing a variety of new colors that you could pick from in this tweet, saying beef up your handheld experience with one of our new colors of the Split Pad Pro for Nintendo Switch. There's transparent black, midnight blue, volcanic red, and they're gonna have pre-orders coming soon. Now, the Split Pad Pro was pretty good, but there were a lot of features that were missing. That's the first thing you have to keep in mind. I mean, it doesn't even work off of the Switch itself. They are pretty much dedicated as handheld grips only. I did review, or at least check out, some Switch Joy-Cons from third parties that came out pretty recently that are very similar, but it has like all of the functionality for the most part, minus things like the IR sensor from the regular Joy-Con. So I like those more, but I do like some of the color options here. And if you missed out on the first wave of them, looks like there will be a few more coming up to check out. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. We're gonna start right away with the Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster that's been rumored for so long now. Jeff Grubb's been talking about this for a bit, and it does appear that it's supposed to be coming out this holiday. And it's probably going to be missing the Switch, at least initially, that is the rumor. It seems like it's slated for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and, well, if it's backwards compatible for the PS5 and the Series X and S, it should move up there as well. But there really hasn't been anything tangible for these remasters. I mean, we've seen the Mass Effect Twitter, of course, occasionally tweet stuff out, seemingly hinting towards something. And while Jeff Grubb's been talking about it, so has Shinobi over on Twitter. But it looks like there have been some things popping up now for computer systems where, of course, we've seen GameStop list things and even Game in the UK. And that's where the latest rumor for it seems to be coming from. You can see the listing here that was posted up that does show N7 Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster. Now, they appear to have a release date for September 29th. The only issue with that is Shinobi and even Jeff Grubb seem to see that as the incorrect title and the wrong release date. Now, if it's end of September, they would have to announce it very, very soon, like now, like this week, it would have to get announced. And I see this Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster as being a pretty hot item coming up this holiday. If they can get it out this holiday, even though it's supposed to be, you never know with things behind the scenes, right? It could technically get internally delayed, and since it's not been announced yet, it's technically not delayed to us. But the fact that Game has in their system, and even with this this release date that they've set as it's a placeholder, when we would start to see those pop up, generally that would be before the announcement, and the announcement would come pretty soon after. It happened with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. When that happened, I saw that in the system before it was even announced with pricing and all of that. So to see this pop up does tell me that it's probably getting announced, I would say, in the next couple of weeks maybe, and it could be something that EA just drops. Like, it's like on Twitter, hey, Mass Effect Remaster Trilogy. I'm not sure where else they really announce that unless Microsoft organizes an event in order to do that. Now, this does go a bit further because, of course, we had seen this pop up online, and it looked like some people thought, well, if it's in the system, maybe I can just go pre-order it. And at least posting on Reddit, we have seen a few, specifically this one here, that seem to post a receipt of them being able to pre-order it. So at this time, Mass Effect Remaster Trilogy does appear to be pretty close, and we'll just have to kind of hang out and wait and see. I'm curious what they do with it. Like, will they go back and update the PC versions, or are they just going to sell a whole nother remaster for it? Will they have better frame rates, resolution? Those are the things I assume will be there, but could they do added content? And what do they do with Mass Effect 3 and that ending? And is there a way you can play everything back to back to back to back? Are load times better? A lot of questions to be answered here, but Mass Effect fans who weren't too happy with Mass Effect Andromeda, even though they've kind of worked on it, there should be something else for you to look forward to, I'm going to say, pretty soon. Oh, and I will say, if you want to keep up to date with the Mass Effect Trilogy Remaster, because I see them talking about it and chiming in whenever there's any news about it, check out Jeff Grubb and check out Shinobi. They seem to be on top of this rumor specifically. Next up, let's talk about xCloud. Now, xCloud is supposed to release their official big rollout, even though I think it's still technically a beta. That's gonna be on Android September 15th, right? We had talked about that previously. Well, Microsoft just made random surprise announcement that as of today, you can check out xCloud. That's right, if you have Android, you can go on the Play Store and there is a beta client that you can download and start playing. Originally, it was just alpha, like it was this closed alpha where you'd have to sign up and hope that you get chosen, and then they'll give you an invite and you have to link. It was a whole thing. I went through it. It took a little longer than I thought it would to get it all signed up and in, but eventually I was, and I've been using it since, and they keep adding games. It's pretty cool. Now, with Xbox, of course, Game Pass Ultimate, a lot of people are probably already signed up, and if you are, you might as well go on there and download it. It's pretty interesting to see how this works with streaming, specifically on your cell phone. We're still waiting for it to show up on browsers for example, your PC, your laptop, or wherever, maybe even show up on the Xbox One. Think about that. If you can stream from the Xbox One games that are only on the Series X, I mean, your Xbox One technically doesn't need to be retired just yet because you can do it. It's streaming, I get it, but I would still check it out. It's in beta now, and it's gonna run all the way up to September 15th when they have their official launch, which is weird because they're basically just launching it now. Maybe they looked at it and said, you know what? I think we're ready to go. Why don't we launch early, call it the beta, and see what kind of how hard our servers get hit here with kind of the network and how much congestion we get here with this when we open it up. That way they can be certainly prepared, I would say, September 15th, because they're getting a full month head start. But, I mean, it's there. Go try it out. Let me know what you think. If you have an Xbox One controller, one of the newer Xbox One controllers, like those bought in the last 3 years that has Bluetooth, you can sync that up to your controller or your cell phone or your PlayStation 4 controller. Yeah, that works as well. Next up, let's talk about an update on Call of Duty 2020, which has turned into a whole thing now. Back in the day, Activision would just announce it. Nope, now they are apparently sending people online, specifically people they kind of have marked down as influencers or people with large audiences in the Call of Duty community, it seems. They're sending them large crates with projectors and slides, and they kind of split them up, it seems, and they made this whole puzzle and this big riddle that they had to follow through, and you know what? It's kind of cool looking from the outside. I'm sure the fan base had a lot of fun trying to figure it out, and they did. So we now know the official date and time that Call of Duty 2020, which appears to be Cold War related, is going to be actually revealed, right? So they gave them the combination. Different outlets and influencers had these crates, opened them up. These old projectors had slides that then led them to the final website, which you can see that here. And what happened was Noah J456 solved a series of puzzles, and this was while I mean, tens of thousands, like over 100,000 people were watching this happen. And after going through just some crazy hoops and puzzles, they did eventually find that it will be 8:14 and the time is 12 o'clock, and that would be noon at that point on the 14th. So this Friday, we should see an unveiling of Call of Duty 2020, Cold War, I don't know, Black Ops Cold War or something like that. Activision is at least, I guess, having fun with it. They could have done stuff in Warzone instead, but at least the community seemed pretty excited about it. And while I don't really know what to expect from this Call of Duty, because again, it's a weird year and it seems like it's a quick turnaround for Treyarch, we'll see what they have. Warzone's done pretty well for them, so I don't think they need to go full-on like games as a service necessarily and just avoid the campaign. I think they could still have a good campaign and make a ton of money on Warzone outside of that. So here's hoping Call of Duty turns out really well for all the Call of Duty fans out there, and I'll be keeping an eye on it this Friday. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Def Jam, specifically the old Def Jam games that we got, not like Def Jam, Icon and nothing like that. Let's go back to the original Def Jam. We had Fight for New York. I love Fight for New York. The game was so fun. You can still play it now and have a great time on it. I think the best version is on the original Xbox, but I have it on the GameCube and play it here and there. And it's gone up in value so much because people really like that game. And it looks like we may have another one being teased. And this concerns me. I'm gonna go over why. Check this out. This was tweeted out by Def Jam Recording. Says, the streets saying we need a new Def Jam game. And it's like, well, all right, sure. I mean, if it's not going to be like Icon, yeah, I'm in for that. And then below that, they say, once our Twitter hits 1 million followers, which they're at the time of this recording at just under 994,000 followers, we have a special announcement for y'all. So I don't know, maybe by the end of this week, they'll have something ready. Most likely they already have it planned and they're just going to drop it. Here is the problem. I think it's going to be like a mobile game. I mean, look at the hype right now built up around that single tweet. Tons of retweets, likes, mentions. People are excited at the idea of them maybe going back and making a Def Jam game that's not like bad. That would be nice. Go back to the roots with Fight for New York. Great time. The problem is, of course, there are a lot of licenses and you have different rappers and artists and all this kind of brought in. I'm shocked that they were able to make it work in the first place. I don't know how well it would work out now, but I mean, crazier things have happened with video games, so I guess you never know. But step one is to just make it good. Step two is to try to make all of the crazy licensing work. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be navigated. And to be honest, because of how much of a moneymaker cell phone games are, it might be easier for everyone that's involved in that project to come to an understanding when there's like cell phone money involved rather than like game console money involved. But I'm crossing my fingers hoping for something like a Fight for New York 2 or something, we'll see. And we'll finish up with a comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Monotune saying, Persona used to be a niche series. It's a spin-off of another series after all. I'm not sure who was slacking off it on their job for Sega to not have realized that the series developed a large fan base. So I think with Persona, like the original Personas 1 and 2, yeah, those were super niche, right, on the PS1. I didn't really know a lot of people who had them or even played them. Now, Persona 3, it started to take off a bit more. 4, yes, it did, but 5 is, I think, where they finally touched the overall mainstream with the Persona series. I mean, it was nominated for Game of the Year. That was a big deal in general for JRPGs, but like for the Persona series, that's the jumping off point. So if Sega and Atlas don't turn around and look at this and say, you know what, Persona 6 should be like the biggest launch ever for a game, right? To me, that's obvious. But for it to do that, I believe it has to be on everything. Like, I think they just need to take Persona 6 and say, you know what? This is multi-platform. It has the potential to be a 10 million unit seller for Persona if it is everywhere right away. Launch day, PC, Switch, if it's by then Switch 2, Xbox, PlayStation, xCloud, put it on Stadia. Who cares? Drop it everywhere. That's what they need for the Persona series. I just can't see it locked to one system if they really wanted to hit that high potential that the series now has. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do here for Newswave. Enjoyed this video, guys. Hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Well, there's xCloud starting today. Now, are you interested in trying it out? Since you may already have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you just download it on your phone and see what all the fuss is about with cloud streaming for games. And then what do you think about this Def Jam game? Do you think it's just a mobile game, or do you think there is an actual chance of it being something good? Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.